Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking about the Moonology Oracle cards and the Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards by Yasmin Boland, and we will be comparing the two. And at the end I will give you my personal summation on the value I think these decks do or don't bring to my own personal way of using them. So stay tuned. One of the first things we will look at is the similarities between the two decks, and we will look at the Moonology Oracle cards to begin with. So this deck, as well as the Manifestation deck, both have 12 cards that represent the new moons in each star sign. So this is the new moon in Capricorn. As you can see with the Moonology Oracle deck, the original deck, you have the new moon represented with a slither of light, you have the star sign represented with an image, and then down the bottom you have the information new moon in Capricorn in this case, and you have a line that represents the main theme of the card. And as we go, we can see that each card has the same style. Now when we look at the Manifestation cards, it is a deck of 48 cards, whereas the Moonology is a deck of 44, but the Manifestation deck also has 12 cards in the new moon that represent each star sign. Now as you can see, the new moon is again represented with a slither of light. It also has information down the bottom that says new moon in this case Libra, to let us know which moon it is, and it gives us that information at the bottom that is representative of the feel of the card. One of the differences in the two packs is, as I said before, the Moonology cards show an image of the star sign, whereas the Manifestation cards up in the right hand corner have a symbol representative of the star sign. So here we go, these are the cards from the Manifestation deck in the New Moon series. As you can see here, the last two cards are the new moon in Scorpio. The one on the left says work through your fears, and the one on the right says go deeper. So now we'll just have a look at these two cards in particular in the guidebook. So in the Moonology guidebook for this card here, work through your fears, the new moon in Scorpio, it gives us information about the card. It tells us how to attune to the moon, additional meanings of the card, and the teaching. Whereas here in the Manifestation deck of the cards, we have the new moon in Scorpio that says go deeper, and when we open that up, again we have the information, but it gives us a manifesting focus, a manifesting mindset element. It gives us manifesting tips for cutting through your fears, a manifestation affirmation, and when to manifest your magic. As you can see, the information is set out a little bit different. However, there are multiple aspects that you can look at with this card in either booklet. The themes resonate very similar. The information, to my way of thinking, the information is really similar. It's just written in a different way and in a different approach. The next cards we will look at are the full moon cards. So as you can see with the full moon cards, they have a picture of the full moon. Within the full moon they have an image depicting the star sign, and again they have the card description and what full moon it is. And now we will look at the Manifestation cards, and again we will see that the full moon is shown as obviously as a full moon. Here we actually get both the image representation of the star sign and the actual symbol representation of the star sign in these cards, with information telling us which full moon it is, as well as the general message of the card. So again, if we look at the booklets and we look at the full moon in Aries, we have both cards here. You can compare them. So they both have the image that is relevant to the card. They both tell us the full moon in whatever the card is, and they give us a idea of what that card represents. So in the Moonology cards, it's a fiery climax approaching, and in the manifestation cards, it's asking us to cool our emotions. So again, if we take a look at the guidebooks, the Moonology guidebook for this card here, the full moon in Aries, again, it gives us information about the card, how to attune to the moon, additional meanings for the card, and the teaching. And if we look at the guidebook for the Moonology Manifestation cards, again, for the full moon in Aries, it gives us information about the card. It gives us a manifesting balance, a manifesting mindset, a manifesting ritual for releasing fiery feelings, your manifestation affirmation, and when to manifest your magic. So again, the information, to my way of thinking, is very similar. It's written slightly different, but it all resonates for me in the same way. And there you go. There's the two of them for you to have a look at. Now we will look at what's different between the two decks. So firstly, we will start off with the Moonology card deck. They have 20 cards that are not included in the Manifestation deck, and they come in two main sections. So the first main sections is the 8 phases of the moon. So we have the new moon, we have the waxing crescent moon, the first quarter moon, the gibbous moon, the full moon, the disseminating moon, the third quarter moon, and the balsamic moon. We then also have 12 cards that are special moon cards, and I shall go through these now for you. We have the new moon eclipse, we have the full moon eclipse, we have the waxing moon, we have the waning moon, we have the void of course moon, we have the cardinal moon, we have the fixed moon, we have the mutable moon, the supermoon, the blue moon, the south node, and the north node. So these 20 cards are not represented within the Manifestation Oracle deck. The cards that are represented within the Manifestation Oracle deck come in sets of 12. So the first ones we have are the first quarter moon cards. So again, just like the other cards within the Manifestation deck, each star sign is represented within the first quarter moon cards. So carrying on with the theme of the Manifestation cards, we have the symbol of the zodiac up the top. What is different about the first quarter moon cards within the Manifestation Oracle card deck is that each one has a representation underneath the moon of the chakra. So this one is the first quarter moon in Aries, this one is the first quarter moon in Aquarius, first quarter moon in Gemini, first quarter moon in Pisces, and as you can see, the chakras represented in each one. First quarter moon in Virgo, first quarter moon in Capricorn, first quarter moon in Taurus, first quarter moon in Leo, first quarter moon in Cancer, first quarter moon in Sagittarius, first quarter moon in Scorpio, and first quarter moon in Libra. Now the guidebook does explain about the chakras and how they relate to the cards. And the other cards that we have in the Manifestation deck that vary from the Moonology deck are the last quarter moon cards. So again, what we're seeing is the Moonology Manifestation deck has 12 cards for 4 different themes, representative of the star signs. So it has the full moon, it has the new moon, it has the first quarter moon, and the last quarter moon, and here they are. So the last quarter moon in Capricorn, and again you have the moon and the symbol for the star sign. Last quarter moon in Cancer, last quarter moon in Aquarius, last quarter moon in Scorpio, last quarter moon in Libra, last quarter moon in Virgo, last quarter moon in Pisces, last quarter moon in Sagittarius, last quarter moon in Gemini, last quarter moon in Taurus, last quarter moon in Aries, and the last quarter moon in Leo. So as I said, some of the differences are that the Moonology has 20 cards that the Manifestation doesn't have, and the Manifestation deck covers the last quarter and the first quarter moon within each star sign on its own. That is why it has 48 cards and why the Moonology only has 44. So now I'd like to give my personal opinion on the decks. I absolutely love the artwork of the Manifestation decks. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, and the artwork is by Laurie Menner. The artwork on the Moonology deck is very pretty, and it's by Nix Rowan. I think they both have value and they both resonate for me personally. How would I use these cards? Do I have a preference for one deck over the other? I have to say, if I was going to use them, I would definitely choose the Manifestation Oracle deck. I just think for me, it resonates so much better. But the one thing that I really love about the original deck, the Moonology deck, is that it has these 20 cards that represent the 8 phases of the moon and the special moons, which are lacking within the Manifestation deck. So for me personally, how would I use the cards? Because I own both decks, I would probably take these 20 cards and add them to this deck here and use it in that way. That would give me 68 cards to shuffle. It could be a little bit tricky, but I definitely think that the value of adding the information from these cards into this deck is definitely worth that. Both decks have their own value. They do have similarities, and some of the cards resonate in the same way. However, they definitely have their own flavour and feel to them, and I'm sure that anybody that had one deck or the other deck or both decks would definitely see value.